closer. I'm gonna get closer. Hey, watch Kira's back. I'm gonna take pictures. Here's the bag.
Should be about good. Okay, can you all hear me? Good evening, walkers, crew, family, and friends. In 2008, I was living in Seattle, my life somewhat adrift, and a friend asked me if I wanted to volunteer for an event called the Out of the Darkness Overnight. He asked me not because he knew my life had veered far off course because of suicide. He asked me because he thought I'd like to lend a hand for a good cause. Little did he know that being a part of that event, experiencing a community that understood where I had been and where I needed to go, would eventually put my life back on track and has led me to where I am today. As a kid, I struggled with depression, with the challenges of discovering my sexuality and the issues that many young people on the fringe face. But it wasn't until I met Chad that I truly began to understand what it was like for a person to be at war with his own mind. People were drawn to Chad. He was a charismatic man who made everyone feel important. That's because Chad believed that everyone was important. His diagnosis of bipolar disorder was an on-bed fellow to his tireless work as a mental health advocate, but was the reason that Chad was so successful at knowing exactly what his clients were going through, and it's why Chad was so passionate about his work. I was quickly taken by that passion and taken by Chad's heart. We fell in love and he asked me to marry him. We began planning a life together. But his severe illness and his substance abuse would not let go. After 2 suicide attempts, Chad took his own life. 2 years after we met 6 years ago, this October. My life fell apart, but I never questioned my own motives. I knew that I could have been a better friend, I could have been a better spouse, but that was so different from saving Chad's life. His illness and his pain were simply too much. So I tried to rebuild, but I struggled. And then 5 months later, I got a call while at a conference in Miami that my dad suddenly died. And it wasn't until I flew home that my family told me that it wasn't a heart attack. It was actually suicide. In hindsight, I see his manic behavior, the extreme ups and downs, the irrational business decisions. But right then, all I saw was my 54-year-old young, kind, hardworking, and family-focused father gone. His greatest joy in his life was his children, and it broke my heart that he was never going to know my kids. All I wanted was to feel numb, and that's exactly how I felt. The honest truth, guys, is that I too lost the will to live. I didn't know how to react, but the pain and the sadness were so much that I turned to drugs and alcohol to try to stem the bleeding. I didn't celebrate birthdays. I didn't want to celebrate holidays. I dropped out of society, and I had no idea how I was going to will myself back in. And then in 2008, I put on a volunteer t-shirt, and I watched thousands of people walk through the night in Seattle. At first, I was hesitant and I was uncomfortable because as a new survivor, I was thinking, how in the heck are these people cheering and smiling? But as the night progressed, I began to understand exactly what it means for hope to conquer sadness. I met people who had lived my Paris life, and they survived. We were all survivors. This was my community. So please know tonight that this is your community. If this is your first overnight, I want you to know that there is hope and that things will get better. We all are walking by your side tonight, and we will help you with every step of this delicate but truly liberating path. So now I'm back at home in the Bay Area. I'm a tireless supporter and an advocate champion for AFSP and its life-saving mission. The more I participate in these walks, the more that I realize that it's only a community like this that will give you the incredible opportunity to reach your hand out and help others. There's so much silence and anger, misunderstanding after the loss of the two most important men in my life. But tonight, as my family, my friends are here to witness, we celebrate Chad's life. We celebrate my dad, Kent Taylor's life tonight. We're going to celebrate all of the lives of all those that you've lost. And we're going to come together as one unified community tonight to heal and to build hope. Thank you for joining me and my sister, Kellen, on our very first overnight as walkers. I'm proud to be walking with each and every one of you tonight for those that we've lost and those who we're going to save. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you the Executive Director of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, Bob Gebbia.
Wow. Thank you, Kyle, for having the courage to share your story with us. Please know how honored we are to have you walking with us and to have you as a volunteer leader with our Greater San Francisco chapter. You are an inspiration, Kyle. Thank you so much. Good evening, walkers, and welcome to the 2012 Out of the Darkness Overnight. We are thrilled to bring this event back to the beautiful city of San Francisco, and I want to thank you for taking this powerful journey with us tonight. You know, Kyle's story is one of nearly 2,000 that will be shared tonight. Tonight, we bring our passion to the streets of this great city. Tonight, we raise much-needed awareness about our cause. And tonight, we end the silence. We simply won't allow suicide to be kept in secret any longer.